Look! It stands 9 feet tall. Covered in hair. Smells like a skunk rolled in something dead. And despite thousands of eyewitnesses, hundreds of photos, and over 60 years of deliberate searching, science says it doesn't exist. But what if the scientists are wrong? Welcome to the enduring mystery of Bigfoot. Intro. Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Skunk Ape, Grassman. Whatever you call it, the legend of a giant, hairy, humanoid creature lurking in North American forests is one of the most persistent mysteries of the modern era. Every year, hundreds of people report seeing something they can't explain. Tracks are found. Videos are shot. Hair samples are analyzed. And yet, after all this time, we still don't have a body. Not one. So what's really going on? Is Bigfoot real? A hoax? A case of mistaken identity? Or something stranger? Let's dig into the evidence. Segment 1. First, let's talk about the footprints. The name Bigfoot comes from a specific incident in 1958. A bulldozer operator named Jerry Crew found massive 16-inch footprints at a construction site in Humboldt County, California. The story went viral, as viral as 1958 allowed, and the name Bigfoot was born. But here's where it gets interesting. Decades later, in 2002, the family of a man named Ray Wallace admitted that he had carved wooden feet and faked those original tracks. And then pointed out that Wallace was inspired by an even earlier hoaxer from the 1930s. So the very tracks that gave Bigfoot its name were fake. Case closed, right? Not so fast. Skeptics love bringing up the Wallace hoax, but here's the thing: people had been reporting sightings and finding giant footprints for centuries before 1958. Indigenous tribes across North America have stories about these creatures stretching back thousands of years. The Cherokee have the Tzolk'lu. The Pacific Northwest tribes speak of the Sasquatch. The Iroquois have the Ot-and-Er-ha. These aren't modern inventions. They predate European contact. So while Ray Wallace was faking tracks in California, genuine mysteries were being reported across an entire continent. Segment 2. Then we have the Patterson-Gimlin Film. Shot in 1967 at Bluff Creek, California, it remains the most famous piece of Bigfoot evidence ever recorded. A grainy 59-second film showing a large, female-looking bipedal creature striding across a creek bed. Supporters claim the anatomy is too realistic to be a man in a suit, the muscle movement, the gait, the proportions. Special effects experts from the time said it couldn't have been faked with 1967 technology. But critics point out that the film's creator, Roger Patterson, was actively searching for Bigfoot and had a financial incentive to produce evidence. The film has been analyzed frame by frame for decades. Some say they can see zipper lines. Others say the creature's buttocks indicate real muscle tissue beneath fur, something a costume couldn't replicate. It's the Rosetta Stone of Bigfoot evidence, and nobody can agree on whether it's real or the most elaborate hoax in cryptozoology. Segment 3. Subscribe CTA 1. But if Bigfoot is real, where is the body? This is the single biggest objection from the scientific community. A breeding population of large primates would leave behind bones, scat, hair, and carcasses. The Pacific Northwest is heavily logged and mapped by satellite. Hikers with smartphones are everywhere. And still, nothing. Supporters argue that the forests are bigger than we think. The Pacific Northwest has over 200 million acres of dense, remote wilderness. Bears die in the woods all the time and their remains are rarely found. A smart, reclusive creature that actively avoids humans wouldn't leave much evidence. Plus, hundreds of hair, blood, and scat samples have been collected and analyzed. Most turn out to be bear, deer, or cow. But some have been identified as unknown primate hair, though further DNA testing has always shown contamination or human origin. The most famous analysis was a 2014 Oxford and Lausanne study. Of 30 hair samples believed to be Bigfoot, one matched a primate, a human. The rest were bear, cow, horse, and dog. Not exactly conclusive. Segment 4. Let's talk about the skeptics' best argument. A data scientist named Flo Foxon published a study showing that Bigfoot sightings strongly correlate with black bear populations. Where there are more bears, there are more Bigfoot sightings. The logic is simple: a bear standing on its hind legs looks like a large, hairy, bipedal creature from a distance. Especially at dusk. Especially when you're already primed to believe. Black bears stand 5 to 7 feet tall. Grizzlies can reach 9 feet. That's right in Bigfoot territory. Throw in poor lighting, a tired hiker, and the human brain's natural tendency to see faces where none exist, a phenomenon called pareidolia, and you've got a perfect recipe for misidentification. But here's what bear theory doesn't explain. Footprints with dermal ridges. Vocalizations that don't match any known animal. And the smell. Every single report mentions the same overpowering, foul odor. Bears don't smell like burning sulfur and rotting meat. Something else is producing that stench. Segment 5. Subscribe CTA 2. And then there's Jane Goodall, the world's most famous primatologist. In 2002, she said, quote, "I'm sure that they exist." She later clarified that she was being romantic, that she wants them to exist, but the quote stuck. Because if Jane Goodall, a woman who dedicated her life to studying great apes in the wild, can entertain the possibility, maybe the rest of us should too. The reality is that neither side can prove their case. Believers can't produce a body. Skeptics can't explain every single sighting, photograph, and footprint. What we have is a stalemate. 60 years of searching, thousands of eyewitnesses, and no definitive answer. That uncertainty is what makes Bigfoot so fascinating. It's one of the last great mysteries of the natural world, a question that refuses to be answered. OUTRO. So what do you think? Is Bigfoot a real animal waiting to be discovered? An elaborate decades-long conspiracy of hoaxers? Or just a bear standing on its hind legs? The truth is, we don't know. And that's okay. Some mysteries are worth keeping. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the Bigfoot mystery, drop a comment telling us what you think. Are you a believer or a skeptic? And if you want more videos exploring the world's greatest unsolved mysteries, hit that subscribe button right now. We release new videos every single day, and you don't want to miss what we have coming next. Subscribe CTA 3. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and join the community. Because the truth is out there, and we're going to keep looking for it.